let's go back to the very top of the handout. So I introduced CSV files to you, in our lab, so I won't spend time on that. So basically, this is the sort of the template for importing CSV files into Python. So if you don't say import pandas as PD, then every time you have to type pandas.read_CSV, right? If you didn't define pandas as PD. If you define that, then of course it will be PD.read_CSV. And basically there are three, actually not only three. There are different elements you can specify, but here I only tell you these three. So header, if you type none or 0, then it prevents pandas from assuming the first row or first line of the CSV file as the title. Okay? And then names allows you to specify the column or variable names as we just did. And then index_column, that allows you to specify which column in the CSV file should be used as a row label. We'll see that in the next example. But after we've done the first exercise, then and then we look at the fundamentals here, it will make much more sense because I don't want to start from here because you wouldn't be able to know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go to the exercise 2.
Yeah.
Okay, for exercise 2, we are going to work for another data set. So this time we are going to use the data for the I think the election in Pennsylvania in 2012. So basically the first few steps, they are the same, right? Because you install pandas, so you don't need to do conda install pandas right now because you've done that. And then if you didn't close your Jupyter Notebook, then this step you've gone through, so you don't need that. But you do need to make sure you have this data set on your desktop. The Pennsylvania 2012 turnout data set. Okay, so once you have that data set on desktop, then again you can just import that data set. Oops. Okay, so if you have, so basically, again, we just imported the CSV file for the Pennsylvania 2012 turnout. And then notice that this time we add one more argument inside the read_CSV function. We say index column equals county. Of course, you'll say, how do I know there's column called county? You have to open up the data file first and figure that out beforehand. But as I said, that allows you to decide, which variable will serve as the row name. Okay. Like in this case, we want to set up the column, the county as the row name. So that's why we say, index column equals county. Okay, the next thing. Again, we want to create a few columns. So in this case, you say, okay, previously we saved that file inside the election data frame, okay? And then now we want to create another data frame, it's called results. And this time, we want to use the election data frame from the previous step. Right? Because in the previous step, you already created a new data frame called election. Does that make sense? And you want to say, okay, in this case, I want to use the election framework, a data frame, to create another data frame that's called results. And then you want to define 3 more columns. It's called winner, total, and voters. Okay, so if you don't quite know what's inside election data frame, the best way is you should print out that file. So you can say election, and then you can look at what's inside the election data set. So you said you can see the election data set, there are a few different variables, right? Okay, so that's the election data frame. And then the next step, as I said, you create another data frame called results. Because we want to know from the original election data set, who are the winners and what's the total votes and the voters' information. Yes.
Why is there 2 different brackets?
Oh, you mean the double square parentheses? Okay, when you want to define kind of like if you want to create a new or reorganize your sorry, let me put it this way. When you want to create a table showing the results by let me see how to explain this in a better way.
What? Oh, you have to download those whole thing first. I think what's the download everything. And then put in the file.
Yeah, I remember, if you want to create new, when you want to select, columns from original data set, you have to do the double square parentheses. So okay, let's go back to the output. So if you print out the election data frame, then here's the result, right? And what you will see is the total, the winner, and the voter. These 3 columns are the columns we want to reorganize. Does that make sense? Okay, so how are we going to organize it? So we say, okay, I want to select those 3 columns from election data frame. And then we put double square parentheses. Does that make sense? Because the double square parentheses tells Python that we want to select those 3 columns from Python data frame. Okay, the next step, you see print the output of results and then dot head parentheses. Okay, so here's a new function. Well, actually one new function basically. So as I told you, print function allows you to print whatever the results inside the parentheses, right? So if you want to print out the election data frame, you can say print election, and then put election in the parentheses. That's how you can print out the output. Same thing. Now we want to print out the results data frame. You could just stop there, right? And if you do that, basically what you'll get is just the full data content of results, right? It's result or results?
Results.
Really? Oh, I think I did not execute. Sorry, I think I did not execute this, so that's why I don't have results. Okay, now I think. Okay, so you see there are basically 67 rows, right? So it's a long table. It's not that long, but it's still kind of long.
Yeah, that one. Yes.
So another way you could, sort of, just know what's going on inside your data set is that you say, again, say I want to print the results data table, right? But in this case, I only want the first 6. Sorry, not 6. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outputs. So what you can do is to use the head function. So you put, because initially, if you wanted the whole data frame from results, you can just stop here, right? You say print results. But if you only want the first 5 observations inside that data frame, you can say head, because that's the first few, right?
What if we need first 7? What if we need first 7 instead of 1?
That's a good question. Okay, so let's start from here, So let's try this first. And I'll tell you what you can do. Okay, hang on, let's see. So here, let's do the first, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you only get the first 5. Okay, what if you want a 7? What do you think?
At 7?
Yeah, that's the correct answer. You hit 7, then you get 7. So you can control how many observations do you want show.
The default value is 5.
Yes, the default is 5. Yes.
Professor, why are the other columns are missing?
What?
Oh, because in this case you already say you only want
That is.
these 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you already define it.
They already defined.
Yeah. If you did not do this, then of course you will show everything.
I think
Yeah.
we need to do.
So, of course, let's think about it. Why do you want to do this? What's the reason?
Do what? Which one?
Why we want to, just constrain the output, to show those 3 columns? What could be the reasons? Why are we doing this? Just play with the data, or show we have the ability to manipulate the data.
Because those 3 are the variable we want to observe.
Very good. So the reason we are constrain the output to these 3 variables just because sometimes, let's suppose in a data set you have 100 variables. Would you want to show those 100? That doesn't make sense because you only want to show those variables you are care about, right? So that's why this is the scale that allows you to show only those variables you are interested in. So that's the purpose, why we want to learn this. Okay, so any questions about this one? It's not really that difficult, but of course, because this is the very first time you've done this, so it's still very vague, inside your brain. But if you want, you have to practice later, multiple times, and you'll know what's going on here.